off. Today is day 135 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at Code Academy at 50% of the way through Ruby on Rails Authentication. We will be diving into the second lesson. Yesterday we finished Authentication, and now today we will be tackling Authorization, the one free lesson that they have for us. And then we should be done with Ruby on Rails, and then tomorrow we will be diving into I believe Java, I think. Oh, scrolling issues, and there we go. Java. 4 hours. Learn the basics of the popular Java language in this introductory course. They had Learn HTML and CSS. They also had Learn JavaScript here. So the Learn courses, or the Learn prefix for a course, usually indicates that it's the kind of entry-level version of that course. Here they've got HTML and CSS again, and JavaScript. Those are more the full-fledged courses. I'm wondering if that means, since they have Learn Java, if they'll be adding a more in-depth, full-fledged Java course in the future. Possibly. Fingers crossed. We can only hope for the best. And yeah, so that's my 2 cents on that. Good. But enough about tomorrow. Let's focus on wrapping up Authentication today. Close out of that tab and dive into this guy. Section 2, Authorization. Go time. Let's do this. All right. That's loading. Okay. And let's double check everything. We've got mic audio, checkity check, webcam, golden, Code Academy, way cool. We've got chat open on our phone, and little kitty has already assumed the napping position in our lap under the desk. Good. I think that's everything. We are set. Awesome. From the top, section 1 of 7, Authorization. So far, we've seen how to build an authentication system that lets users sign up, log in, and log out. In addition to authentication, many web apps have a way to give specific users permission to access certain parts of the site. For example, a blog would give only its authors permission to access the editing and publishing parts of the site. Permissions are defined with an authorization system. Let's create an authorization system for a recipe website built with Rails. Instructions. 1. We've provided a Rails app to get you started. Let's take a look. First, install the gem file, which would be bundle install. Cool. Green check mark. Next, let's start a Rails development server. Is it just Rails server or install server? Damn, I don't remember from yesterday. I kind of want to guess, but I also don't want to ruin what little functionality is here. Let's go ahead and check yesterday's stuff. We'll live dangerously another day. All right, Rails Authentication. Section 1. Damn, I really should not have been watching the Mr. Rogers marathon before starting the stream. Now I'm just going to have that damn theme song running through my head. What are we doing? We open this. Okay, so this was yesterday's. From the beginning, and it was right there. Rails server, that's all it was. I knew it was something basic. Rails server. Rails server. Enter. Cool. Then preview the app by visiting localhost 8000, and it already, day 135, starts to unravel here on page 1, instruction 3, localhost, not found, and then we hit enter again. However, I think we can trick it, and we can. 4, click on view recipes to see the recipes inside a cuisine. How can we add an authorization system to this app? Click next to learn more. We have nothing to click over here in the results window, so we're going to have to continually fail until they're willing to restore the workspace, which we will trigger that right, I think, this time. Okay. Having trouble breathing? Yes. And having trouble with the code. Good, good, good. Things are loading. Workspace restored. Good times. Onwards to section 2. Using the request response cycle as a guide. We've seen it before, but we'll check it once again. This is the request response cycle 2. I think we saw 3 or 4 versions of that guide over the last couple days as we've tackled the Rails courses. Using the request response cycle as a guide, here's how an authorization fits in. 1, makes a request for URL. 2, the request hits the Rails router. And 3, before the router sends the request onto the controller action, the app determines whether the user has access permission by looking at the user's role. What is a role? A role is a way to manage what parts of a site a user has access to. A user's role is specified in the database. No, and there we go. So just for fun stuff, that's a thing. Good. We're all on the same page now. Onwards. Instruction 1. Let's begin building an authorization system by adding a role column to the user's table. Open the migration file. Go to the user's table in DB database. Migrate. So that's create users. This is create recipes. And they really have 2 create? Create cuisines. Good. So create users is here. Open the migration file for users table. In the DB migrate, add the following column. A string column called role. I guess we can just add from here. Copy. T-string role. All right. Let's go ahead and run that. Nice. Green check mark. Very cool. 2, run the migration to update the database with the user's table. Oh, bastards. Something. The migrate stuff. I think that was lesson 2 from Rails. Saving data. Association. We'll try section 2. Oh, we'll open them all. Come on. Really struggling opening those activities. It should definitely be within the first 3. We'll check lesson 1, migration. View routes, controllers. I do not recall. Gem file stuff, nothing new there. Controller page. After Rails generate finishes, open blah blah blah. I don't think that's it. Now that we have the controller, let's move on to the second part of the request and create a route. Okay, that's creating the route. Now that we have the controller route, let's move on to the third of the request response cycle. Fill in the lies. View your app. It wasn't quite there. It was updating something, installing the gem file. Migrate. That's what it was. Okay, so created Rails app named Messenger app, looking at the request response cycle, blah, blah, blah. Let's get started creating a model. In the terminal, generate a new model named message. Open the migration file, db migrate for the message table. The name of the migration file starts with the timestamp of when it was created. Inside the change method, add this line, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then in the terminal, run rake database migrate. Finally, run rake database migrate seed. So let's first do migrate, rake db migrate. Cool. We put this here, rake db migrate. Nice. Do we need to do seed? I don't think so. They only have 2 instructions here, and we made it through. So let's go ahead and move on to the third page. Great. In the users table, now we have a column named role that we can use to assign different roles to users such as editor or admin. 1, let's add a method to the user model that will help us use the role column in our application. Within the class user, beneath the has secure password method, type find editor ? self.role equivalent to editor end. We can use this method to determine if a user has the role of editor. So we want to go into somewhere. Let's add a method to the user model that will help us in our application within the class user. So applications, models, user. Now this is, yeah, that's within models. Concerns is a separate thing. So we're in app, models, user, and then under has secure password, we're gonna do this guy. Define editor, copy. Yes, 1 line below. I'm sure they can hang out. They probably don't mind hanging out. There's that, and run. Damn. Maybe a space after. Run that. Not too sure what to do. Within the class user, which we have, beneath the has secure password method, type blah blah blah. We can use this method to determine if a user has the role of editor. I'm not sure what's missing from here. Let's run it once more. Only needs to restore part of the site. I was going to say it seems like some things are in slightly better order than before. Mainly the fact that the model's user stuff, usually the folders would be missing files. I was surprised to see that the user file is there. We've had to add that in the last couple days for certain things, so clearly there's still issues in the background, but it seems like some stuff is being dealt with. Okay, so what are we looking at? Let's go ahead and clear out the error message and keep reading through the instructions as if nothing was wrong. All right, we can use this method to define if a user has the role of editor to open the DB seeds, so database seeds. All right. We've added a user named Mateo with the role editor. See the database with this data. Oh, seed the database with this data. So that would have been done down in the terminal. Rake DB seed, which is what we saw in 2. Ta-da! Rake D seed. This guy. Maybe that was lesson 3. One of the previous Rails lessons covers that. All right. We should now be able to use the editor. Wait, we should now be able to use the editor. Oh, editor question mark. I was like, that doesn't make any sense grammatically. I was trying to figure out the flow. I was like, why'd they just stop the sentence right there? They didn't stop the sentence right there. Ta-da, editor question mark. So we should now be able to use the editor question mark method to check whether a user has an editor role. First, start the Rails console by running Rails console. Then check whether Mateo is an editor. Mateo user.find by email. Mateo at email. Mateo.editor question mark. Ta-da. You know what? Highlights. I've mentioned it before. My issue with a lot of the instructions, whether it's reading the little anecdote stuff prior to that or actually in the instructions themselves, even though I'm still getting used to programming and programming daily, I still read it as just like a human, non-programming mindset. Things still slide by that throw me off like this. You know, grammatically, I was so fixated on just what it should be if this were a regular sentence, but it's not. It's that programming verbiage and format and environment that I'm still trying to get used to, because editor question mark is actually a thing, ta-da, here in the realm of programming. This isn't just a poorly written sentence. It's in reference to what's actually going on here in the activity and the realm of coding. Good, all right. It's just that seemed like a great example to highlight that I'm still struggling with that, and that's the issue that I keep running into personally. Yeah, good times, good times. But it's also good that we've identified that issue and that we can recognize it fairly shortly after running into it. So good. It's important to be aware of your own shortcomings. Onwards. Do. 4? Maybe. There we go. She's loading. Section 4. All right, we created. Scratch that before we continue on. It's good to know your own shortcomings. That way you can address the what do we want to call it? Skills that need honing, aspects that can be worked on for your own self, so you can grow however you want. Yeah, you can keep ratcheting up those skills or certain aspects and kind of smooth out the rough edges. Yeah, good. Okay, back to this though. All right, we created a method named editor question mark. See, and this time now they've got it bolded. I don't know why they That's the other thing. The consistency here at Codecademy also doesn't help with that type of thing. Anywho. Because that would have avoided the issue on the last page, and I was thinking to myself, why didn't they have it bolded just like that? C'est la vie. We created a method named editor ? That checks whether a user's role is editor and returns true or false. The method uses self to refer to the current instance of a user object. Now that we can determine whether a user has an editor role on the site, let's add a few methods to the application controller, application controller, to make sure that users with the editor role can access specific parts of the site. In the application controller, application controller, below require user, this guy, so down here, probably line 16, add another method named require editor. Which entails define require editor, redirect to / unless current user dot editor ? End. Let's run that. And it hates everything we're doing because it's confused for no other reason. That's all. Okay. This is normal. This is normal. Our nose is itchy. Why? We're about to be hella sneezy. Okay, let's close that. We're falling apart. I need to track down a tissue or a Kleenex or something and relieve my face hole. This is concerning. All right, so we're sorted out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read all that. Breathing will be important. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'll spare you my disease. Okay. All right. Holy hell. Crisis averted. Death. Why, God, why? I'm a monster. It's okay. It's okay. What are we doing? We are forging through the instructions now that we got the require editor bit in place. The require editor method in place, to be exact. 2. Continuing on story time. Next, in the recipes controller, recipes, use another before action that uses require editor to permit only users with editor role to access the show and edit actions. Before action, require editor only, show, edit. Before action, require editor. Ta-da! So there's that. That's cool. 3, in the app views recipe app views recipe, show.html.erb. Use the editor ? Method to display an edit link only if the user is an editor, which is right. Where the deuce did they hide it? Let's make it full screen. If current someone. Aha, add link here. If current user and user.editor, class recipe edit, link edit recipe, path at recipe.id, ending stuff. Cool. So, marching on, instruction 4, try it out. First log in to the app as a user without a role. Looking at dbseeds.rb, Julian doesn't have an editor role. So use his email, julian@email.com, and password julian1 to log in, then visit localhost 8000 recipes1. You shouldn't see the edit link on the page. It would be so awesome if we could see and do these activities over here in the result window. Damn. I'm sure they're hard at work getting it all sorted out, but death. And it seems like it's fairly easy enough. We could just recreate a lot of this stuff on our own for a side project, but still, it would have been cool to have all this stuff to reference now. Anyways, it'll be up and running eventually one day, and we'll be sure to stop by again then. Log out of the app, and then log back in as an editor. Looking at dbseeds.rb, Mateo has an editor role, so use his email, mateo@email.com, and password mateo1 to log into the app, and then visit the localhost 8000 recipes1. You should see the edit link. Nothing there in the results window. Onwards to section 5. Great work. The role-based authorization system is working. Users with an editor role have permissions to see the edit page, while users without that role do not. Instructions in the user model. App models user. Add a method named admin, ? That determines whether a user has the admin role on the site. Well, let's just take the editor one, copy that, add you right here, but instead, it'll be admin. No. I mean, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, but not right now. Right now, we are adminning. We are finding out who deserves to be in the neighborhood. Running, and we're running, and it's angry. Typical. Do. Okay, having trouble, possibly. You need to add a third button. No, but your site is broken. That should be right there after get code. 2. Open dbseeds.rb. We've added a username, Frida, with the role admin. We should now be able to use the admin ? Method to check whether a user has an editor role. Enter the Rails console and type Frida equals user.findby email, frida@email.com, frida.admin. So that's that. That's all the fun we'll ever need. Next. 6 of 7. Admin role 2. Oh, gotcha. I just saw the roles and the Roman numerals. I was like, weird. It should be 3 or 4, but editor role 1 and 2, admin role 1 and 2, followed by generalizations. Great job. We now have a way to determine whether a user has an admin role on the site. Let's add a few methods to the application controller to make sure that users with the admin role can access specific parts of the site. Instructions. In the application controller, application controller, create a method named require admin. What? Oh, in the application controller. Right. Create a method named require admin. Sure. Require user, require editor. Be very similar to you. Require admin. Admin. I think that's as good as that's going to get. Quite possibly. Run. Yes, good. Let the hate consume you, but we never give up. Just all kinds of show tunes today. Having trouble, get code. That third button will come in handy. No, your site is broken. I'm telling you. All sites should have that. 2. In the recipes controller, create a before action that calls the require admin method before running the destroy method. 3. In the app views recipe show.html.erb, use the admin method to display a delete link. Only the user is an admin. If current user at current user.admin, class recipe delete, link to delete, recipe path, recipe method delete, end. Okay. 4. Try it out. Sign in as Frida with the email frida@email and password Frida1. Then visit localhost 8000. Clickety-click. Still nothing found. Soul crushing. You should see your delete link. We can envision it using our imagination. Yes, Mr. Rogers would be proud. Next. All right. Congratulations, kind of, on completing the course Ruby on Rails Authentication. You've learned a new skill and should be sort of proud. Want to take a look at your profile and see what you've accomplished? Not quite yet. Okay, got it. Good. Still have to finish out section 7. Congratulations, you built an authorization system from scratch. The role column in the user model specifies a user's role. 2. A method like define admin ? And define editor ? is created for business logic. 3. The require editor and require admin methods redirect to empty parentheses. I don't know if something more is supposed to go in there. If the current user is not an editor or administrator, the before action acts as a filter calling require editor or require admin before executing controller actions. 5. The current user method can be used in the views to display links based on the signed in user's role. Very cool. Up next, we have made it out alive. Let's go ahead and see where does this include. We can get out of here. One of these buttons is to free us. Loading. Tons of fun. 100% of the way through that. Day 136 tomorrow will be learning Java. That'll be cool. That'll be tons of fun. So now that we just completed Rails authentication, so we got, and again, as a reminder, they added these two within the last, we'll call it two-ish weeks. So we'll probably circle back to the top once we make it to the end. But we've now finished the Ruby nonsense and Rails. We just put the final nail in the authentication coffin. Tomorrow, day 136, we get to finally dive in Java, and then we will be knocking out the remainder of SQL. Finally get to look at PHP, and then we will be tackling the Watson API. Should be good times. Alright, now with that said, let's go ahead and close out today's stream for day 135, looking at the stats for today. Where are we ending stat-wise? Ruby on Rails authentication at 100% with 1,550 points of frustration, confusion, and some achievement to our name. And how many badges? We've got 217 badges. Good times and 17 skills / courses completed here at Codecademy. Tons and tons of fun. Good. Way cool. Hey, Genzi? We're gonna go with Genzi. GitHub, yes, their Git course was interesting. Do you have any projects? Not yet. That is, once I conquer Codecademy, then I'm probably gonna start diving into some side projects. I'll probably do some side projects when I get to Free Code Camp. That's the next stop after Codecademy. Because I know Free Code Camp, a lot of their stuff is real world projects, working with a lot of like free like charity and services that need assistance with building websites or setting basic app type things. So that's a good place for some real world project experience is Free Code Camp. I know another good site just for more knowledge would be Treehouse. I've got a Udemy course that I've picked up as well, but I will also be doing some own personal side projects on the side. So that'll be coming up in the next couple weeks at this rate. But yeah, we are closing out of the stuff. And is there anything else? We closed out of that nonsense. We're backing out of Codecademy. And that is it for day 135. Thank you to anyone and everyone who may have either accidentally come in to view the stream or came in on purpose. Kenzie, you should check out Chris Hawks on YouTube. He has some interesting videos on programming. Noted. Chris Hawks, let me add that to my ever-growing to-do list of all things Cody. But hold on. Adam.io, Code Wars, Chris Hawks, YouTube. Good times. Yes, any and all resources are greatly appreciated. And yes, so thank you to any and all viewers who may have stopped by, and thank you, Genzi, for stopping by, saying hey, and in the general input. Greatly appreciated. And that's it. We are good. We are closing out into OBS. Stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.